Oops. We are in the time and space independent zone right now because we are broadcasting to England, Japan, I believe, the Northwest, somewhere east of California. There's other states apparently. As well as being archived for another time. So we have time portals through space and time right now. So if anyone can communicate back to us and let us know lottery tickets of the future, thank you. All right. Welcome to the first official. We actually got sanctioned by the Pink Heart Made Up organization. So welcome to the first Pink Heart meeting for 2012. Thank you. And thanks for everyone's patience and enthusiasm and surrender as we kind of have attacked the ticket fun of this year. I kind of feel like this is the first time we're able to go.
I knew it was going to
See, time and space. We're getting that was the past. Now we can kind of like start building, and I'll be honest. When the magic of an abundant city of giving hits the immovable wall of scarcity with the ticket situation, we had a little physics problem. But I think that I'm actually incredibly optimistic now, especially after the 10,000 tickets have gone out. My very unofficial kind of feeling things out as we were kind of distributing ours and kind of reaching out to other people. There's, I think, a lot of wonderful people that were kind of had said it's never going to happen are now going. Now, does that mean a lot of people still want to go? Absolutely. And for the record, there are still opportunities for Pink Heart to get more tickets. So if there is a loved one that you know that is really wants to go and is just in that boat, make sure that you keep us notified because there are some possibilities. There's a gentleman who had an art project that was turned down for a grant, but they said, but if you want to bring it, we could actually probably get you some tickets. So that's kind of, there are some possibilities. Because there's nothing like keeping that dangling possibility going for months and months. Not in or out, just like maybe. Okay, so we are going to implement the hugging at the end rule as people show up. So welcome, and we will hug you at the end. Because I'm going to try to just kind of run through information, and then we can have a casual brunching and discuss things and kind of get more into conversation afterwards. But that being said, if I don't make any sense, or if you know more about something, please interrupt me, or raise your hand. Or if you have to go to the bathroom, raise your hand. Okay, the first thing I want to talk about is the roster and intros. Because of the ticket distribution situation right now, we're kind of at that place where we've got our roster pretty much figured out. Now, the reality is we actually submitted our camp plan when we thought that we didn't have all these tickets, so we may have to do some rethinking and maybe some begging and maybe saying, can we really fit in what we've got? So we're actually a lot tighter than we thought we were going to be a month ago, which is great because we got all these tickets to distribute to campers, but it also means that we're not in a situation where 2 months from now we can just like open our doors and welcome people in. So if there's anybody that has not been active right now, we're in a closed state, but we might have possibilities as we figure things out. Partially because there's still some things that have to happen before you are a part of this experience in this camp. And one of the really important ones, especially since we have so much of our camp stuff is already in in Nevada, and we just have to set up when we get there. One of the really important things about being in Pink Heart is connecting beforehand. And so the last 2 years we've had a process where everybody writes an introduction, which is can be the most therapeutic or difficult or wonderful or healing thing that you do, where we want to know who you are. Not what you do, not what your job is, not, why are you going to Burning Man? What do you get from Burning Man? Where are you in your path right now? Where do you want to be? Because when we have the situation where we're trying to, talk to people all over the place, we want to have our hearts open by the time we get there. And the experience has been really magical. Someone said last year that they met someone for the first time that they already were in love with, which was just that's what we want to have happen. So what I'm a little skipping ahead. We need a position of someone to kind of jump in as kind of like historian, which will help with the roster and making sure everyone has the notes for meetings and things like that. So one thing we're going to do is the private group that we have right now on Facebook, we're going to start at a certain date. Anyone who has not given their introduction is going to be removed from that group. Because it's important for everyone to feel that we are all exposed together. It feels safer. And if you want to wait until that date, you can submit it privately and then post it at that date. But we're going to work that out. We still have the Google group will be open for everyone. That's public, and there's a Pink Heart public Facebook group. So everyone is welcome to follow along the journey. But this will be our private place to, if you're going through something tough or it's safe. If you are not going to Burning Man,
So Bella was asking, what's the due date again?
I was going to throw out a month from now, May 1st. And even if you are in a traumatic time in your life and you are really struggling with writing an introduction, that is something that you can share as your first draft of your introduction. You can say, I'm going through all this stuff right now. I'm having a hard time with this or whatever. But the important thing is that as people are sharing, they feel like they're being heard by people that care, not just lurkers and whatever. If you don't go to Burning Man, you are still welcome to be a part of the intimate journey too, if you do introduction. There are a lot of people who are considered part of the Pink Heart family that just can't make it to the playa for whatever reason. So the private group can have people in it that are not going to go to Burning Man as long as they join in that way. Does that make sense? Okay. I actually have these items, so this may never happen again. So let's just everybody just notice that I actually have meeting notes, which is why it rained actually, because I was so well prepared. Okay. So what is Pink Heart? I don't want to get too deep in that because we have videos about that and we talk about it all a lot. But I just kind of threw out this kind of basic. We come together to elevate ourselves and others. We are about deepening the connections between people, solidifying the experiences that transform, and increasing the love we give. And, a big part of how we do that is through gifting and through what we can do communally as a gifting experience. And that kind of informs a lot of the things that are going to happen now. Like, why do we have dues? It's all because of what we can do together. And as I talk about some of these things, you might say, gosh, this actually sounds like a little more than I want to be committed to my first year or my third year or whatever. And that's absolutely cool, too. You're still welcome to be a part of the intimate group if you share your heart. And you're always welcomed, anybody is welcome to help with building things or on playa things like manning the water bar. These are really the biggest gift is the ability to give. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay. What Pink Heart provides, because there's different camps provide different things. We are not a plug-and-play camp. We are not a meal plan camp. The dues and the things that we do as a group are, we collectively, it's mostly what we give. So we don't have a meal plan. We have some communal meals. And depending on how dues come out, we actually will have funds for people that want to do a communal meal. We will have a communal cooking area. We will have a communal shower. We will have communal camp gifts, shade, the transportation of all of our stuff, water to give as a gift, ice cream, hopefully. Things are looking good. Christian will hopefully be here to give us an update. And then a private area, a shade area that is just for the camp members. We might have additional water and gray water solutions. That's something that we need to figure out. It's something that it's very easy if we say that the camp provides those things that people get a little loose with the water usage, which puts us in a tougher place.
John, one point.
Mm-hmm.
Transportation, you said transport all our stuff, transporting all of our communal stuff, all the stuff that we're offering, but not your individual stuff, not your food, not your water, not your camping.
Exactly.
Just
Thank you.
We're not likely to have a truck this year.
The plan this year is not to have a truck. The plan is to bring a trailer. So, because we are still going to be building some things, we are still going to have, there's things like the private shade area. Last year was a shade structure that we borrowed and returned. This year, the private shade area is probably going to be that military, huge military tent that we picked up. So we still need to take stuff out, but we don't have the needs for a box truck, which, yeah, it makes a big difference. But then again, a lot can happen in a few months, and but that is also, so I guess if you want to let your mind go as if we are having a truck, please do, and we can always think about it. But we don't have the same kind of massive ability to transport that we did last year, which was taken up a lot by couches. Which are there now, so which is great.
Still have Kiwi's Heart.
Kiwi's Heart is unknown if he or us will take the heart and the spires.
Okay.
The heart and the spires also are going to be going to Lucidity, and he is going to transport that up for us. And hopefully the heart and the spires will be a part of several of the local things that we're doing this year that I'll get to in just a second. Okay, so. We do have dues requirements for the camp. And the way that I am thinking about it right now, unless somebody convinces me otherwise, is that it's $100 for local people and $200 for non-local people, and both of those are sliding. And the reason for the difference is that it's just impossible to contribute the same way if you're not local. Now, it is sliding, so if it is prohibitive of you to contribute an extra amount, then we can talk about it. But there's things like, if you're not local, you're not going to load the truck. You're not going to be here to unload the truck. You're not going to drive to a meeting. There's just a lot of extra expenses and time things for someone that is local. At the same time, there are some non-local people that absolutely contribute in the same way. And that is part of this figuring this all out. For example, Allie and Brian and their crew from Canada will be bringing down a huge shade structure for the camp. They're bringing a water evaporation thing for the camp. They're going to be driving an art car that I'm sure that they will be allowing others to enjoy. And so that is a local commitment of effort, and so I would consider that to be in the same way. It's different than showing up and if people want to convince me that that's not a fair way to do it, I'm happy to listen to that. That's just, I saw some other camps doing it, and want to give that a try.
When you say sliding, John, with that as a base, with them up or down as needed?
I'm kind of thinking then 50 and 100 are the kind of base of that. Then again, we're not so big that we can't communicate and talk to people, And if there's someone that's prohibitive of you, if there's, there's some people that are in school right now, there's some people that had to get help to get the tickets in the last week, and if there are a lot of ways that I would love to say, can you help out in this way that is so much, really the issue is we want people to contribute. And financially is one piece that we need, so it's nice to have everybody do that. If you are time rich and money poor, let's say you can commit to staying till the last thing is taken off the playa. That seems to be a continual challenge for a camp. And if you say, look, I will be there, then look, that is a valuable thing. And there are a lot of people who got to get back to their jobs to make money. That seems fair to me, that if you want to say, I will spend my time doing that while other people make their money, fine. They contribute more money, you contribute a little bit more time, and that's what we're trying to find, just a fair place of that. And I guess I don't want the dues ever to be a thing of feeling like I'm paying this so that I can be a part of Pink Heart. The dues are a way that, how can I chip in to this gift that we're going to be giving? Because that's really that's the only point of Pink Heart, is to collectively do something that we can't do by ourselves. And so if this, if you're finding some repelling about giving money or something like that, let's talk and make sure that this is a fit and how you can give in a way that it feels good. Because if anyone has not had the more energy, time, and actually money that I spend on gifts that I give to Burning Man, the better my year is every year. And so this is really a structural way to make sure everybody has the best experience possible. So I was throwing out that the intros are due in a month and dues are due in 2 months. As far as needing money for camp things, let's say you take on a project or you're going to do something, let's still pay dues and then get reimbursed. Sari is going to be our treasurer. Woo! Thank you! For the last 2 years, it's been Brian Smith, but he has joined a gorilla colony, apparently. And then he met Desmond Tutu, and I don't know. I don't think he's coming back. So she will be in charge of. We'll PayPal her dues. If you do some project, you'll get reimbursed that way. Or if we have to order something, she'll be doing the ordering of that. But generally, don't, for accounting purposes, don't just like buy something and say that's for my dues. Still pay the dues and then get reimbursed back. Okay. What we're going to do in 2012. The huge part of it is what we did last year. So we're going to have shade, seating, ice water, the Magic Dome, ice cream, maybe evening hot cider, and then trying to place a place to chill day and night, and then some treats for people. The reason for creating the space is to create a place where people can take in the playa. That's why they hopefully will continue to give us a Esplanade place, so that we can have a front porch for the playa, sit in our fuzzy chairs, process these magic experiences that we've had while enjoying some cold water. So some things that we want to maybe... Okay, so because so much of this is there, one thing that we're going to build over the next few weeks or leading up is try to make a mobile version of the Pink Lounge that we can bring to some Southern California places, because we don't have any of the cool stuff here anymore. So, like for Lucidity, we're planning on bringing 2 of these. We're still trying to figure out, I think we're going to try to pick up some discarded carpet. Has anyone ever done that before? Gone to like Carpeteria and grabbed rolls of carpet? The trick is the smell test. You don't want houses with lots of animals, and that's why they got new carpet. Yeah, made that mistake a few times. Like, maybe the playa dust will kill this. So, and then some of the things that we want to create for this little stuff that we can then bring to the playa as well. For example, one thing that I'd like to do is, if you see on the poles of the shade structure, give away the fact that it's a metal shade structure and it's not an actual palace. But if we made some, that wood thing down here still, like we could get a sheet of plywood, make it look like a column, cover it with fur even, and put that in front of the pole. Suddenly we've got a lot bigger presence without a lot more, because it could also be stackable too. So we could make a couple columns that we put on our traveling one, and then we bring for that one. It's suddenly all of a sudden a big bump up in impact without a lot of work or needing a truck. It would be cool to increase the amount of pillows that we have. So these we don't have the pillows for our traveling area, so we're going to try to get some more pillows, make some more pillowcases, make it more plush and lovely.
And pillowcases are, again, something people who don't live locally can always make.
Exactly. Pillowcases are a great non-local thing because it doesn't take a lot of space. You can actually make them and send it to us in advance, or bring them with you, and we could cover, plan on just bringing pillows. Some things we've done in the past is people have, because we ideally want all the pillows pink. So if you have old pillows, or you find old pillows, and we just measure them, and there are people that make pillowcases, and we just try to match them up when we get there. It's a memory game. 9 by 6. Okay. Want to get a little. If Christian shows up, we'll get a status project on the ice cream project, which is there's a lot of pieces to that. We also want to take it up a notch and try to make some activities that happen while we're doing that. Christian has been active in doing kind of dating meeting things, so we wanted to try to do like a speed dating activity while people are waiting in line. But I think it'd be cool to have all sorts of things like that, like. Okay, so there's something secret that's going to happen. But then you have to kill us. Well, cool. All right, that's awesome. And that's actually a good segue, because we're going to do some things, as a camp to make sure we do. But there's that doesn't mean that you can't have an idea that doesn't require a ton of people that you take on yourself. We might even have camp resources for it. Whether that is, hey, I want to throw a birthday party at this time. Can we have a cake and do some games? We did that a couple years ago. Or the same is true with gifts. If you want to, we're going to have some camp gifts that we'll try to do again what we've done in the past, which is the metal water bottles and also stickers. Are those around here? If anybody has access to like an industrial paper cutter, we can just cut off the year on these, and we've got some additional stickers to get. The water bottles are a little pricey, but are super awesome. The stickers are an easy thing to distribute a lot of. But in the past, we've had people that had all sorts of ideas of things that they wanted to do, maybe on a lesser scale, not like getting 1,000 of, but maybe made, Sean made these cool, I think is someone wearing one? But I think the metal heart necklaces. Yeah. Which were very popular. People loved them, which was a cool thing. I don't know how many she made, but she just decided that she wanted to make that as a pink heart gift.
And if someone wants to use a brand, I think Chad might still have it. but we own that brand.
SSC has
That
an
burns
industrial
out.
paper cutter. So of course
Awesome,
you do.
awesome. All right, so we will try to coordinate last year's stickers with Paul's workshop. Sweet. Does one of the projects that would be awesome to figure out more of this year in the 5 months we have is the dome cover. I know that at one point there was an attempt to sew that was underway. Amber's online. So if there is possibility for an update on the dome cover, that would be great. There's no right answer, by the way. Just an update. One thing, because we don't have the truck, we do have resources. We can try to put in resources in trying to get the dome cover created.
Stephanie says that Amber has cover under control.
Next item. Awesome.
Thank you.
Sweet. All right.
Soon, to begin sewing fabric being collected, we have half.
Ah, all right.
Amber is awesome.
Woo! All right, that's awesome.
We
If
love
you're not
Amber.
familiar, the dome is a wonderful thing to gift to the community. We also, because it's important to have it be pink. Our options for covering it have been limited and labor intensive. So we're trying to. We are. It's under control. Yes. Okay. Then we're also, the water bar is something that we're going to do again, and that's actually an ongoing thing that is super fun. We may extend that into an evening thing of trying to do cider or something at night. If you mentioned it before, as a camp, we don't want to give anything. All our gifts are non-alcoholic and vegan. So you're welcome to make whatever you want. In your camp and your stuff. That we're not a non-alcoholic vegan camp, but the gifts that we give are. As a camp, okay.
And bacon is very much appreciated.
Yes.
This camp, I want to clarify.
Yeah.
So whatever you do bring extra.
Make it upwind from.
Okay, so just I want to address some things, some brainstorming things of if you are not local and are eager to contribute more. One is making some sort of gifts. I will make the logo things as the graphic files available if anyone wants to create whatever. If maybe you make buttons or stickers or brands, anything. Another thing is plan a camp meal. We're going to try to organize evening meals, sunset meals. It's a really awesome bonding time. And that is something that, because if you could fly into Reno and then do shopping for it, that doesn't mean that you can pay for it for the whole group. We will have people coordinate resources and cooking. If there's someone that has HTML or graphic skills, there can be help with website and other stuff, as well as helping coordinate the kind of online roster things. Last year we had a password protected place for all of the introductions because they start to get it's a lot of people. But I think it can become a pretty neat tool to realize as this family grows and we feel connected and to get to know all these people. These people, meaning us. And then everybody has all sorts of gifts, and you might realize it on the playa, or it might be something that right now. Like I'm a masseuse. Like when I show up, I'm going to be doing massages at sundown. Every day that we're setting up. So for everyone that's been helping build, I want to offer that to the camp, or I don't know. We've all got things that and then the cool thing is you don't have to be a professional masseuse because we're not licensed at anything. Although we will be getting a health permit because we will be serving food again. Let's see. Okay. Where are we on time? Awesome. Okay. Places we're going to go beyond Black Rock. Right now, anyone is welcome to carry the torch and be a loving beacon wherever you go. And in fact, you can do that as you go to the grocery store every day. And you can share cucumber water, on the boardwalk. I think that would be awesome. But the kind of things that we're going to try to bring the Pink Lounge to and be official presence on. So, wow, we used up our chairs. Nice. Is Lucidity, which is in 2 weeks. And that will kind of be our testing ground for the next two, which will be Elysium and then San Diego DCOM. San Diego DCOM, I don't think the date is set. Elysium just got a set. Elysium is on a lake this year. Costco has a raft that's as big as a pool that they are offering, which is kind of. I've already made an event page for Elysium, so I think that's a mandatory for us to have a floating part of our camp.
Okay.
Not yet.
It will be.
So we have to find some waterproof epoxy for altering that.
You know the date offhand, John?
Of
Yes.
what? Lucidity?
Elysium is
Oh,
June
Elysium.
21st to 24th.
Yeah.
June 21st to 24th. I'm also going to Ignite, which is 2 weeks after Lucidity, which is a flow thing, if anyone's going, but that we're not doing officially that. We're not officially doing LIV, partially because by the time I looked at tickets, there weren't even any car camping passes, and doing a theme camp as you shuttle things from the parking lot is just, it's like they don't want you to do a theme camp, which is fine. Do I sound bitter? Maybe if they would reply to my... Never mind. No, I'm grateful for all they do. Thank you, DLAP.
Who's going to Lucidity?
Is anyone going to Lucidity here? Awesome.
And what about Elysium?
Is anyone going to Symbiosis?
Maybe.
Maybe?
When is it?
It's LIB weekend, I think.
Oh yeah, I think you're right.
I think it's instead of LIB.
So there's LIB, Symbiosis, and Flipside in Texas are all the same time.
May 17th. Not the 20th.
Oh, that's the weekend before.
17th through the 21st.
Okay. All right. So the people that are going to Lucidity, it'd be nice to kind of powwow and figure out how, most of I think what we're planning to bring can be done if I load up the Hugmobile. So if the Hugmobile makes it, then we'll be fine. But if we can, kind of distribute a little of the stuff and pillows and things, that would be cool. And then also kind of maybe discuss what we're going to bring as, and kind of doing this as maybe make up a kind of check sheet so that we can easily do this for the other places. Like, okay, how many camp stoves are we going to have? Are we going to serve water at this one? Who's going to, and kind of figure out what the things that we're going to do as a camp. There's a few kind of positions that if people want to help out on a bigger way, and these are basically just coordination positions, so that you keep track of the things that are going on. Sari's going to be our treasurer. Looking for someone to be kind of historian, which is, making sure that our meetings are done, making sure the roster stuff is all the stuff is, all information available for everybody. Somebody to be kind of in charge of frontage, which is our dome, water bar, lounge, just kind of coordinating lighting, it doesn't mean you're doing all those things. Like Paul is in charge of lighting, but someone needs to be kind of just the point person that then the couple days before the next meeting that I can talk to them and say, okay, we've gotten no update from Paul. He's joined Brian with the Gorillas, or whatever. Just so that project manager to help me out.
Do we have any project managers in general? No. I didn't think.
All roles for anything, including furring, which Andrew will prove, no previous skills are required for anything, and there is no such thing as doing it wrong. So somebody kind of coordinating frontage, somebody coordinating operations, which means kind of coordinating with Millie in terms of camp plan stuff, and with coordinating with our Paul and our power needs. And this is something that you don't need to chime up right now. You can think about, and then in a week's time, I will simply assign it to somebody. Plumeria has volunteered to be the activities director, just kind of like figuring out all of our interactive stuff, which is the water bar, which is we will have scheduled activities, which could be, and that's something that everyone can think about too. Like last year, decided that I wanted to be a part of a dance production, so did a dance production. If you have something that you want to do, or you want to give a seminar of something that you want to pretend to be an expert about, or again, there's infinite possibilities.
And it's nice if I can't approve that perhaps.
Awesome.
And it's nice if you can start thinking of those ideas now and start thinking of the description for those, because when the activities open to be in the printed book, they open pretty quickly, and then it's either it's a by a date or the first amount. So if we want to get them in the book, we have to get them in pretty quickly.
Yeah, last year we oh cool, they're done, they're due by the 30th, and they filled up by like the 10th, and so none of our activities got in the Who What Where guide last year.
Remember, the more provocative the name, the better your attendance will be. There's a marketing component to it.
Sure.
Sex at the Pink Heart camp.
Yeah, meet in the Pink Porno Dome, and it's
sexual experience.
Well, yeah.
That's obvious, but you can go in other dimensions of provocative.
One thing to keep in mind.
The adult.
Yeah, we actually, because we are on Esplanade, we actually need to code our sexual things. That would be sensual activity.
Sensual, right.
Yeah, which will still get plenty of people. Yeah, we actually do need to be a little tactful, because we're on the front line with families walking by and things like that. And then the last thing is somebody to kind of just own the private area where the kitchen and stuff will be, just to kind of know, do we have enough lighting back there? Do we have the stuff that we're going to need, or what are our goals for it, and are we going to have all that stuff? So I will make sure that these things are relisted in case anybody wants to step in and get a power trip. And then last thing I was going to list off just random, if one of these things is a skill that you have or would like to play with, would be just good to know. Sewing, graphic design, painting, either house painting or artistic painting, carpentry of any level, any sort of electrical fiddling, bike tune-up skills. Yeah, we've got some lights that kind of go on and then they turn off, and so if someone wants to just go, that's about. If no one steps up, that's how I'm going to fix them. So, bike tune-up skills for like playa bikes that need to get to the next level. If anyone could do some oiling or whatever, or help people figure out how to do that, I'm sure a lot of people have bikes that could use a little tune-up. Glue gunning, and if you don't have that skill, you will by the time we get to the playa. Well, that's the skill part is the having the bowl of water nearby, so that you don't get the blisters. And then some specific skills, like being able to pour gasoline into a generator without spilling it on yourself. And if you know how, can you teach others?
Setting fires with a baffle box.
Okay, so that gets us to close to noon, which is awesome.
We have some people who want to ask questions.
Yes, that we're in the questions portion of the.
Okay, so I captured a few, and then we'll open it up, Stephanie.
Okay.
So, are we placed?
By getting tickets, it means that we're placed.
So we don't know where we're placed.
We don't know where, but I had a good talk with our placer and understanding on why we like to be on the Esplanade in Greenwich. So, pretty comfortable with that.
So things look good to be in a similar location.
Right.
Okay.
Will intros be somewhere in multiple places other than just on Facebook? I think we have Facebook, non-Facebook users. One of those things.
One of those non-Facebook users might want to volunteer to be the historian.